The spaceship descended slowly through the thick atmosphere of Tarnus. Its silver hull glimmered under the light of the planet's twin suns. Outside the windows, vast forests stretched as far as the eye could see. Giant trees rose from the ground like towers, their trunks wrapped in vines and glowing moss. Strange birds with translucent wings flew between the branches, their songs echoing through the dense air. The humans inside the ship watched quietly, each of them holding a sense of awe mixed with nervous excitement. Mira, the leader of the research team, stood at the front of the observation deck. Her eyes were fixed on the surface below. Tarnus was a Deathworld, a planet known across human colonies for being almost impossible to survive. Its soil was filled with poisonous spores. Its air carried strange bacteria, and most importantly, it was home to predators that could sense motion with terrifying precision. Mira turned to her team. "Remember the rules," she said firmly. "We walk slowly. No sudden movements. Nothing that could trigger them." Tom, the youngest member, smiled nervously. "Walk slowly? That sounds easy enough. How bad can it be?" Rin, the team's biologist, shook her head. "Tom, you don't understand. This is not just a planet with dangerous animals. Every creature here has evolved to hunt by detecting movement. The moment you run, they know. The moment you panic, they strike." Dale, the engineer, adjusted his gloves and glanced out the window. "I still don't get it. If we move carefully, we can survive, right?" Mira gave a tight nod. "Yes, but survival does not mean safety. Tarnus has its own rules. The natives know them well. We must follow their lead." The ship touched down with a low hum. Its landing pad sank slightly into the soft, mossy soil. Outside, the air shimmered in the heat, carrying the scent of wet earth and the faint tang of something metallic. The humans stepped onto the surface, their boots sinking slightly with each careful step. Every movement felt heavier than usual, as if the planet itself was watching them. A group of the native species, the Tarniks, appeared on the edge of the landing site. They were tall, slender creatures with green skin that shimmered under the sunlight. Their eyes were large and dark, reflecting both intelligence and caution. Their limbs moved slowly, deliberately. Every step seemed calculated. One of them, the eldest, stepped forward. His name was Oren. He bowed slightly and spoke in their language. A translator device converted it into words the humans could understand. "You are far from home. This is Tarnus. You must respect the ways of our land. Do not run. Do not panic. The ground watches and listens. Motion invites death," Mira nodded. "We understand. We will walk carefully. We do not wish to harm your world or disturb its balance." Oren's eyes narrowed slightly. "Humans are different. You do not fear as we do. That is dangerous. Fear is what keeps life safe here." The humans followed the Tarniks into their village, a place built in harmony with the forest. Homes were perched on the trees, connected by narrow bridges woven from vines. Every structure seemed alive, growing naturally from the forest rather than imposed on it. The ground below was covered in soft moss, and strange glowing fungi provided light in the dim spaces between the trees. The Tarniks moved without haste, their movements flowing like water. The humans tried to imitate them, but their bodies were trained for speed, for sudden action, not the patient rhythm of this world. Mira noticed that even small gestures from the humans, like turning quickly or raising a hand too fast, caused the Tarniks to flinch. "This is how you must move," Oren explained, slowly, deliberately. "Do not draw attention. Every step must be measured. The predators will sense you immediately if you break the rhythm." Rin whispered to Mira, "I have never seen a place like this. Even the air feels alive. It is watching us." Mira nodded, feeling the tension in her shoulders. She knew that Tarnus would test them in ways no other world could. Every instinct they had learned on Earth was useless here. Speed and agility were weaknesses. Patience and composure were the true weapons. That evening, the humans were introduced to the village council. Oren spoke again, explaining the history of Tarnus. Generations of Tarniks had learned that motion was deadly. Animals that reacted to sound and vibration dominated the forests. One false step could mean death. Their society had evolved around this rule, creating a culture of caution and silence. Tom listened and frowned. "So you mean to tell me no one has ever tried to run here?" "Ever?" Oren's eyes darkened. "Running brings death. It has never failed. It is a lesson written in the bones of our ancestors. Fear keeps us alive. Without fear, you cannot survive." Mira looked around the council chamber. The walls were made of living wood, bending and flexing with the slightest movement. The air hummed softly. She realized that every creature on this planet, from the smallest insect to the largest predator, had adapted perfectly to one law: do not move too fast. That night, Mira's team set up their temporary quarters. They could hear the forest breathing, the faint rustle of unseen creatures, the low growls echoing through the trees. Sleep was difficult but necessary. Mira spent hours studying the data collected from the planet's atmosphere, its magnetic fields, and the strange vibrations in the soil. She began to notice a pattern. The predators reacted not to sight alone but to any sign of panic or sudden action. Their entire hunting system was based on the fear and flight of their prey. In the morning, Mira decided they would attempt a short walk into the outer forest, guided by the Tarniks. The group moved slowly, their boots barely disturbing the moss. Each step was deliberate, measured, and quiet. Even the air seemed to hold its breath around them. As they walked, strange creatures scuttled between the trees. Some were small, with spindly legs and glowing eyes. Others were larger, their bodies armored and camouflaged. Every creature paused as the humans passed, studying them. The humans felt watched, and yet no one attacked. The forest seemed alive with tension. Tom whispered, "It's like the whole planet is holding a secret. It's waiting for something." Rin shivered. "It is waiting for fear. That is all it senses." Mira's steps were steady. She encouraged her team to focus on their breathing, to keep calm. Every time one of them felt panic rising, they forced it down. The difference between running and walking was not speed but control. By noon, they reached a clearing. The sunlight filtered through the canopy in golden beams. The Tarniks paused and gestured toward the trees. "This is the edge of the hunting grounds. Beyond this, the predators roam freely. Do not move faster than your heart allows. Do not let fear guide you." Mira nodded, stepping forward. Her team followed, each step careful. For hours they collected samples, observed wildlife, and mapped the terrain. The forest remained quiet, almost suspiciously so. Not a predator appeared. The Tarniks whispered among themselves, their voices trembling with a mix of fear and disbelief. Tom finally spoke. "I don't understand. We are moving exactly like you said. We are cautious, slow, steady. Why hasn't anything attacked us?" Oren's face was pale. "You are different. Your presence is unsettling. The creatures cannot predict you. They cannot read your fear. You walk and yet you do not flee. That is impossible." Mira looked around at her team. "We are humans. We do not let fear control us. That is why we can survive here. The predators sense panic. They sense weakness. We are not weak." For the first time, the Tarniks felt what humans could feel. Courage that defied instinct. They did not understand it, yet they could see it clearly. Humans had entered their world and challenged a law that had governed life for generations. As night fell, the humans returned to the village. The Tarniks greeted them with a mix of relief and awe. The forest outside remained tense, alive with hidden eyes and silent steps. But the humans had walked among the predators and returned unharmed. Oren addressed Mira quietly. "Your kind is dangerous. You do not fear and yet you survive. Perhaps you are the first to truly understand Tarnus. Or perhaps you are the first to break it. Time will tell." Mira simply nodded. She knew the real test had not yet begun. Walking slowly was only the beginning. Tarnus had more lessons to teach, and she was determined to learn them all. As the humans rested, the forest pulsed with life, waiting, watching, as if it had noticed a new force. Something had changed on Tarnus. The balance of fear and survival had shifted. And in the heart of the forest, deep beneath the trees, eyes that had never seen humans before began to observe carefully. The world that hated movement had encountered beings who did not fear. The first steps had been taken, and the forest would never be the same again. The morning on Tarnus was thick with mist. The twin suns barely broke through the canopy, casting soft golden light that made the forest glow like it was alive. Mira's team prepared for another journey into the wild, their boots brushing softly against the mossy ground. The Tarniks' guides moved beside them, their movements smooth and deliberate. Every step was a dance of caution, each breath measured. "Remember," Oren whispered, "speed is death. Panic is death. Fear is death. Do not run. Do not raise your voice. Do not hurry." Mira nodded. "We will walk. We will move carefully and steadily. The forest has no power over calm hearts." The humans followed, stepping into the dense undergrowth. Every leaf, every branch seemed to shiver as if aware of their presence. Tiny creatures scuttled across the roots, and large birds with translucent wings perched silently above. The forest was alive, watching, waiting. Tom trailed behind, carrying a data scanner. "I don't understand," he said quietly. "If this world is so deadly, why isn't it attacking us? We are moving just like the Tarnik said, slow and careful, but still." He hesitated, glancing at the trees as if expecting something to leap out. Rin shook her head. "It is not our speed that protects us. It is our calm. Tarnis is a predator's world, but predators here hunt based on instinct. They sense fear and panic, not thought or intent. We are different. We do not panic. That is why we survive." Dale, always practical, scanned the area with his handheld sensors. The soil is vibrating, the air is vibrating. The planet itself seems tuned to movement, but it is not reacting aggressively. Something is strange here. Very strange. Mira raised her hand and stopped. The forest ahead was quiet, almost too quiet. A rustle echoed somewhere in the dense foliage. The humans froze. Their hearts beat steadily. Nothing moved toward them immediately. Then from the shadows, a small predator appeared. It was like a jagged lizard, 3 times the size of a human, with legs built for speed and eyes that glowed faintly in the mist. Its body was sleek, covered in dark scales that reflected the faint sunlight. It crouched low, muscles tensed. The Tarnik's guides went rigid. Their whispers carried fear that trembled through the air. "Do not move," Orin warned. "Do not run. Stand still. The world will punish movement." The humans held their ground. Mira looked directly at the creature. It hesitated, tilting its head as if confused. Then it lunged forward, faster than the eye could follow. But the humans did not flinch. They did not panic. Their steps remained measured, deliberate, unbroken by instinct. The creature stopped mid-leap, its momentum faltering. Its glowing eyes blinked rapidly, unsure of how to react. Then it turned and disappeared back into the shadows, leaving only a ripple of air in its wake. Tom exhaled slowly. "Did anyone see that?" "It stopped because we didn't panic. It didn't know what to do." Rin nodded, her eyes wide. "Fear is what it hunts, not movement. Our calm confuses it. That is why the Tarnik's rule exists. They have lived in fear for centuries. They never tested the predators like we do." Orin stepped forward, shaking his head in disbelief. "This is impossible. No being has ever walked freely and survived. The predators are instinct. They always kill those who move, but you are something else." Mira looked at the elders with respect. "We are not invincible. We just do not allow fear to control our actions. That is all. Step by step we learn to survive." For hours the team continued through the forest. They moved carefully, observing strange plants and creatures. Some creatures slithered silently across the ground. Others flew overhead, their wings brushing the mist. Every predator they encountered paused or retreated. The Tarniks whispered among themselves, unable to explain what they saw. By afternoon they reached a river that cut through the forest. Its water was clear but moved swiftly, carrying leaves and small debris. A creature massive and scaled was drinking from the far bank. Its eyes glowed like amber fire and its body rippled with tension. The Tarniks froze, whispering warnings to the humans. "Do not approach, step back. It can sense your heartbeat. It can sense fear." Mira stepped forward, her boots brushing the moss lightly. "We will cross carefully. Keep calm, step by step. Nothing more." Her team followed her lead. Each step was deliberate. The riverbank vibrated under their feet. The massive creature stiffened, watching them intently. Its muscles tensed, ready to strike, yet it did not. It had expected fear. It had expected panic, and it found neither. When Mira reached the water's edge, she paused. The creature moved closer, its head lowering. For a long moment, it seemed the world itself held its breath. Then, as Mira began to step into the shallow water, the predator retreated slowly, bowing its massive head to the human's calm presence. Tom's jaw dropped. "It left because we walked carefully?" "That is unbelievable," Rin smiled. "Not because we walked. Because we were not afraid. That is what Tarnis cannot understand. Calmness defeats instinct. Courage defeats fear." Dale recorded the event, his hands trembling with excitement. "We need to document this. This changes everything we know about this planet. We may have found the first method to survive anywhere here without weapons or speed." The Tarnik's elders gathered, murmuring among themselves. Orin looked at Mira with a mix of awe and fear. "You're kind. You are changing the rules. Perhaps unintentionally. Perhaps you are the first to walk without fear. You may live where all others have perished." Mira knelt beside the water and touched it with her hand. Step by step we learn. Step by step we survive. The world does not control us. Courage does. Hours later, they set up a small camp at the riverbank. The Tarniks prepared simple food, glowing fruits and tubers they could eat safely. Mira's team cooked their own rations but kept everything calm and quiet. Around them, the forest moved in silence. Even the predators were cautious now, studying these strange creatures who moved without panic. At night, the forest came alive in new ways. Strange glowing insects flew through the air. Low growls echoed from deep within the trees. Yet no predator attacked. The humans' calm presence seemed to create a buffer, a zone where instinct alone could not dictate action. Tom leaned against a tree, staring into the shadows. I cannot believe it. Every horror story about this planet said running meant death. We are walking, and nothing has touched us. Rin nodded, her eyes reflecting the light of a nearby glowing fungus. It is not walking alone. It is understanding. Fear controls this world, and humans can control fear. Mira smiled, but her eyes were thoughtful. This is only the beginning. We have learned one truth. Tarnis reacts to panic, not motion. But the forest is vast. The predators are many. The real test will come when they understand that humans do not fear. The Tarniks elders watched quietly, whispering among themselves. Some feared what they had witnessed. Others felt hope. Perhaps the humans could teach their species a new way to survive, a way without fear. As the night deepened, Mira's team lay in their tents, listening to the forest. Each sound was a note in the symphony of Tarnis, and for the first time they felt like a part of it. They were not running. They were walking, and in walking they were alive. The forest shifted as if noticing this new rhythm. Somewhere deep in the shadows, eyes that had never seen humans before reflected the light. A low growl rolled through the trees. But this time the humans did not flinch. Their calm, steady breaths and measured steps were like a shield. For the first time, Tarnis had encountered beings who did not fear its predators. And the forest waited to see what would come next, Mira whispered to herself before sleep. Step by step, we changed the world. The planet had rules ancient and unforgiving. But humans had entered, and the first step had been taken. The forest was alive, watching, and the humans were walking, not running. And for Tarnis, that was a change that would echo forever. The sun rose slowly over Tarnis, casting long shadows through the dense forest. Mist hovered above the mossy ground, and the air shimmered with the heat of the twin suns. Mira's team had spent the night near the river, resting but alert. Each member knew that the forest had not yet revealed its full danger. The morning was quiet, almost unnaturally so. No birds sang, no insects buzzed, and even the soft rustle of leaves seemed paused. The humans moved carefully, following the Tarniks' guides as they led the way deeper into the jungle. Oren's voice was low, almost trembling. The forest knows you are here. It watches, it waits. You must continue to move without fear. One mistake, one sign of panic, and the predators will awaken fully. Mira nodded. We understand. Step by step we will move carefully. Nothing more. Nothing less. As they walked, they noticed signs of larger creatures, deep claw marks on the trees, the remains of old nests, and bones partially covered in moss. The Tarniks whispered their fears, but the humans walked calmly. Their presence seemed to change the rhythm of the forest itself. The predators, once unseen, began to stir, sensing that something different had entered their world. Tom, scanning the area, whispered to Rin, "Do you feel it? The forest. It is tense. It knows we are here, and it is preparing for something." Rin nodded. Yes, the predators can sense us. But they are confused. We do not act like prey. We do not panic. That is why they hesitate. But hesitation will not last forever. Mira led the group to a clearing surrounded by enormous trees. Sunlight filtered through the canopy, creating golden patches on the ground. The forest seemed calm, yet the team could feel the vibrations beneath their feet. The predators were watching, studying, waiting for a sign of weakness. Suddenly, the ground trembled. It started as a faint vibration, then grew stronger like the beat of a giant drum. Leaves shook, branches swayed, and a low growl echoed through the forest. Mira signaled her team to freeze. They stood perfectly still, their hearts steady, their breaths calm. From the shadows, the first predator emerged. It was enormous, taller than any Tarniks, with dark scales that shimmered in the sunlight. Its eyes glowed like amber fire, and its muscles rippled with raw power. It moved slowly, its gaze fixed on the humans. The Tarnix guides froze, terror etched on their faces. "Do not move," Orn whispered urgently. "Do not run. The moment you panic, it will strike. Stay calm. It senses fear. Fear feeds it." Mira stepped forward, her posture steady. "We do not fear. We walk not as prey, but as beings who are alive and aware. Step by step, we will continue. Nothing more. Nothing less." The predator circled them, sniffing the air, its head tilted, confused by the humans' calm presence. It lunged forward with lightning speed, but the humans did not flinch. Their steps were deliberate, measured. The creature's momentum faltered. It stopped, blinked, and then retreated slightly. Tom whispered in disbelief. It stopped because we did not panic. It expected fear and we did not give it any." Rin nodded, her eyes wide. "This is what Tarnus cannot understand. Calmness defeats instinct. Courage confuses the predators." Orin watched, his face pale with a mixture of fear and awe. "Your kind. You are changing the rules of this world. No being has walked without fear and survived. You may be the first." The humans continued through the clearing, stepping carefully over roots and moss. The forest seemed to watch, holding its breath. Every creature, every predator paused to study them. None dared attack. It was as if the calm of the humans created a shield around them, a force the predators could not comprehend. Hours passed, and the humans reached a part of the forest known to the Tarnix as the hunting grounds. Here the predators were most numerous, and the ground was littered with bones of creatures that had failed to respect the rules. Orin and the other Tarnix guides trembled as they approached, warning the humans to remain calm at all times. A sudden rustle in the undergrowth caught everyone's attention. A massive predator, larger than the first, emerged with glowing eyes and jagged scales. Its roar shook the trees, and smaller creatures scattered in terror. The Tarnix froze, whispering prayers to their ancestors. Mira took a deep breath. "Do not run. Do not panic. Step by step we walk. That is all we do. Nothing more." The predator lunged toward them, but the humans held their ground. Their calmness confused it. Its instincts told it to attack, yet it could not understand why its prey did not flee. After several tense moments, it stopped, sniffed the air, and retreated back into the shadows. Tom exhaled slowly. "Every story we heard about this planet said running meant death. We are walking and nothing has killed us." Rin smiled. "It is not the walking that matters. It is the control of fear. Tarnus's predators have never encountered prey without fear. That is why they hesitate." The Tarnix elders whispered among themselves, their faces pale. Perhaps the humans are the first to truly understand Tarnus, or perhaps they are the first to break it. As they moved further into the hunting grounds, the forest seemed to shift. Shadows grew longer. Leaves rustled without wind, and the air vibrated with unseen energy. The predators were aware now. They had sensed that these humans were different, and they were preparing to test this new prey in ways they had never tried before. Suddenly the ground trembled violently. A massive creature emerged from the undergrowth, larger than anything the Tarnix had ever seen. Its body was armored with thick plates, its head crowned with spikes, and its eyes glowed with a deep, intelligent fire. The creature moved with purpose, its gaze fixed on the humans. Orin fell to his knees. The watcher below. It has awakened. No one has ever survived its gaze. "You must not panic. You must not run." Mira's team stood firm. Each member took a deep breath, their steps measured, their hearts steady. The watcher below advanced slowly, testing their courage. It roared, shaking the trees and rattling the ground. The smaller predators scattered, intimidated by its presence. Mira stepped forward, raising her hand calmly. "We do not fear. Step by step we walk. Nothing more. Nothing less." The watcher below halted. Its massive head tilted, studying the humans. It had expected panic, fear, and running, but it found none. Its instincts faltered, unsure how to respond to beings who did not act like prey. The Tarnix whispered among themselves, amazed and terrified. "It is impossible. No prey has ever faced the watcher below and lived. Yet here the humans stand without fear." The watcher circled them, its massive claws leaving deep marks in the mossy ground. The humans remained calm, walking slowly, step by step. The creature growled, tested their resolve, and yet did not attack. It seemed to hesitate, confused by the courage it had never witnessed before. Hours passed, and the humans continued through the hunting grounds. Every predator they encountered stopped or retreated, unable to comprehend their calm. The watcher below followed at a distance, observing but never striking. By evening, the team reached a high ridge overlooking the forest. The view was breathtaking. Vast trees stretched into the horizon, their leaves glowing in the fading light. The forest pulsed with life, aware of the human's presence and yet restrained by something it could not understand. Tom turned to Mira, his eyes wide. "We survived the hunting grounds. Every story said it was impossible. And yet we are alive," Rin nodded. "It is not luck. It is courage. Fear controls this world and humans control fear." Oren stepped beside Mira, his face pale but resolute. "Your kind has done what no Tarnix has ever done. You have walked without fear, and the predators have not killed you. You are changing Tarnus itself." Mira looked out over the forest, her heart steady. "Step by step we learn. Step by step we survive. The forest may test us further, but courage will guide us." As night fell, the forest came alive with distant growls and rustling leaves. The watcher below observed from the shadows, its massive form blending with the darkness. The humans set up camp, their movements calm and deliberate. They had survived the hunting grounds, faced the predators, and remained unbroken. The Tarnix elders watched silently, their hearts filled with awe and fear. Perhaps the humans were a new kind of being, capable of surviving where all others had perished. Perhaps they were the first to truly understand the rules of Tarnus, Mira whispered to herself before sleep. Step by step we face the world. Step by step we walk without fear. The predators had awakened. The forest had noticed a new force, and the humans had walked, not run. For Tarnus, this was a change that would echo through every shadow, every leaf, and every heartbeat of the planet. The sun rose over Tarnus, painting the forest with golden light. Mist clung to the ground, and the air was thick with the smell of moss and wet earth. Mira's team woke early, ready to continue their exploration. The previous day had tested them in ways no one had expected. They had faced predators larger than any Tarnix had seen, yet they had survived because they had not panicked. Oren and the Tarnix elders gathered near the edge of the forest. Their eyes were wide, filled with awe and fear. "You are dangerous," Oren said quietly. "Your presence changes everything. The predators do not understand you. Perhaps the world itself does not understand you." Mira nodded. "We are not here to harm Tarnus. We are here to learn and survive. The rules of this world are built on fear. Humans do not give in to fear. That is why we can walk among your predators and remain alive." Rin glanced around at the dense trees. "The forest watches us. It tests us. But I think it is curious. It senses something different in us." Tom, still wide-eyed from the previous day, whispered, "I cannot believe we survived. Every story said the forest would kill anyone who moved like us. And yet, here we are." Dale adjusted his equipment. "We must document everything. Step by step, we are learning something no one else has ever learned on this planet. Calmness defeats instinct. Courage defeats fear." The Tarnix elders discussed quietly among themselves. Some feared that the humans' presence would anger the predators. Others believed they might bring a new way of living to Tarnus, a way without fear. Finally, Oren spoke. "You have shown that it is possible to walk without fear. Perhaps you can teach us." Mira's eyes widened slightly. "Teach you?" Oren nodded. "Yes, our people have never known courage like yours. We have lived in fear for generations. If we can learn from you, perhaps we can survive without trembling at every shadow." Mira considered this carefully. She knew it would be dangerous. Teaching the Tarnix to walk without fear meant facing the predators together, in open spaces where instinct would normally strike. But she also understood that this was the key to changing Tarnus forever. "Very well," Mira said. "We will show you how to walk with courage. Step by step we will move together. Calmness is our weapon. Fear has no power here." The Tarnix hesitated, but eventually a small group, led by Oren, joined the humans. Mira instructed everyone to breathe slowly, to focus on each step and to ignore the instinct to panic. "The predators will notice you," she warned. "They will test you, but if we remain calm, we can pass safely." The group moved toward a wide clearing, the heart of the hunting grounds. The forest seemed to grow tense, every leaf and branch vibrating with anticipation. Small predators darted through the underbrush, and the faint rustle of wings echoed above. The watcher below, the massive creature that had observed them before, lingered in the shadows at the edge of the clearing. Mira took the first step. Her boots pressed lightly against the mossy ground, her posture steady. She felt the vibrations beneath her feet but ignored them. Step by step, she moved forward. Behind her, the humans followed, careful, deliberate, calm. Oren watched closely. He hesitated, then took a single step. His leg shook slightly, but he did not run. He took another step. Then another. Slowly, other Tarniks joined him. Their movements were awkward at first, but they learned to imitate the human's calm, measured rhythm. The forest held its breath. Predators watched from the shadows. Small creatures froze mid-motion, unsure what to do. The watcher below observed silently, its massive eyes glowing with curiosity. Tom whispered, "I think the forest is confused. It has never seen prey that does not panic." Rin nodded. "Exactly. Instinct has rules, and we are breaking them." Step by step, the group crossed the clearing. The smaller predators scattered, intimidated by the calm presence of so many beings. The watcher below stepped forward, its massive claws pressing into the mossy ground. It roared, shaking the trees and rattling the earth. Orin froze. "We cannot survive that." Mira stepped forward again. "Do not run. Do not panic." Step by step, we move together. Calmness is stronger than fear. The watcher paused. Its eyes scanned the group, searching for weakness. It lunged suddenly, testing their resolve. The humans and Tarniks did not flinch. Their steps remained steady. The watcher faltered mid-lunge, confused by the courage it had never encountered before. One of the Tarniks, a young female named Lyra, stumbled slightly. The watcher's eyes fixed on her. The group held their collective breath. Mira reached out mentally, guiding them with calm energy. Lyra took another step, steadying herself. The watcher blinked, unsure how to respond. The clearing fell silent. Even the wind seemed to pause. Step by step, the group continued, walking through the heart of the hunting grounds. The watcher followed at a distance, studying them but did not attack. It had never faced prey without fear, and instinct alone could not guide it. Hours passed as they moved carefully through the clearing. The Tarniks began to gain confidence. Their steps became smoother, more deliberate. They realized that fear was not a law of life but a choice. Humans had shown them that courage could override instinct, and the forest itself was learning to respect that choice. Mira looked around at the group. "You're learning quickly. Step by step, you move with courage. That is all that matters. Fear has no power over those who choose not to yield to it." Orin, still trembling slightly, nodded. "I understand. This is new. It is hard to believe that fear can be defeated. And yet, here we are." The watcher below, massive and imposing, followed them to the edge of the clearing. Its roar echoed across the forest. For a moment, the group froze. But Mira's calm presence guided them forward. Step by step, they continued. The watcher's roar faded as it realized their courage was not weakness but strength. By evening, they reached the far side of the clearing, a ridge overlooking the dense forest below. The sun dipped low, casting long shadows. The predators had withdrawn, and the forest seemed to breathe a sigh of relief. The Tarniks elders gathered, whispering in awe. "You have shown us a new way," Orin said quietly. "Perhaps we can survive without fear. Perhaps our world can change," Mira nodded. "Courage is stronger than instinct. Calmness defeats fear. Step by step we walk. That is all we do, and that is enough to survive." The Tarniks looked around, their eyes wide with wonder. For the first time in generations, they felt what humans had felt. Courage that defied instinct, confidence that defied fear, and strength that did not rely on weapons or speed. As night fell, the group set up camp on the ridge. The forest below pulsed with life, but no predator dared approach. The watcher below had retreated to the shadows, observing, learning, and perhaps questioning the ancient rules it had followed for centuries. Tom leaned against a tree, his eyes shining with excitement. "We walked through the hunting grounds. The watcher didn't touch us. We survived because we didn't panic," Rin smiled. "We survived because we did not fear. Step by step, we moved with purpose. That is all Tarnis has never seen." Orin knelt beside Mira, his expression a mix of fear and admiration. "Your kind has done what no Tarnix has ever done. You have faced the forest, faced the predators, and walked without fear. Perhaps you are the first to truly understand Tarnis." Mira placed a hand on his shoulder. "You can learn too. Step by step, your people can move without fear. The predators cannot understand it, but that does not matter. Courage will guide you." The Tarnix elders whispered among themselves, discussing what they had witnessed. Some were still afraid, but others were filled with hope. Perhaps humans had brought a new way of life to Tarnis, a way where fear no longer dictated survival. As the night deepened, Mira's team lay in their tents, listening to the forest. Each sound was a note in the symphony of Tarnus, and for the first time, humans and Tarniks alike felt a new rhythm. The rhythm of courage, the rhythm of calm, the rhythm of walking without fear. Somewhere in the shadows, the watcher below observed. Its massive form blended with the darkness. Its eyes glowed faintly, and it seemed to consider the humans. They were different. They did not flee. They did not panic. They walked. And in walking, they had changed the forest forever. Mira whispered to herself before sleep. Step by step we teach. Step by step we survive. Step by step the forest learns. The clearing was quiet now, but the memory of the humans' courage echoed through every leaf, every branch, every heartbeat of the forest. Tarnus had been challenged, and humans had walked with defiance. For the first time, fear was not the ruler of this world. The dawn on Tarnus was heavy and still. Mist hung low over the moss-covered ground, and the forest seemed to hold its breath. Mira's team had camped on the ridge overnight, overlooking the vast expanse of the hunting grounds. The events of the previous days had changed the Tarniks forever. They had walked without fear, and survived where generations of their kind had perished. Yet the forest was not finished testing them. Orin and the Tarniks' elders gathered at the edge of the ridge, their expressions filled with awe and worry. The watcher below watches us, Orin said softly. It senses your courage. It has never faced prey like you. You must not panic. If you do, all of us will die. Mira nodded. We will not panic. Step by step we walk. Courage guides us, not fear. The forest can only respond to what we show it. Rin adjusted her equipment and glanced into the forest. The predators are restless today. Even the smaller ones seem aware that something has changed. The watcher below may approach soon. Tom swallowed nervously. I hope it does not attack us now. We have proven ourselves, but it is massive. Its strength is unlike anything we have seen. Dale placed a hand on Mira's shoulder. We are ready. We have faced predators larger than anything the Tarniks have ever encountered. And we survived. We are humans. Courage is our weapon. The group began their descent into the forest, moving step by step. The Tarniks followed closely behind, their movements awkward at first, but growing more confident with each deliberate step. The forest seemed to shift around them. Leaves trembled, shadows stretched and retracted, and the faint vibrations beneath their feet hinted at the presence of predators hidden in the trees and underbrush. As they reached the center of the hunting grounds, the watcher below emerged. Its massive body blocked the sunlight, casting a shadow that stretched across the ground like a moving mountain. Its eyes glowed with a deep, intelligent light. Every muscle rippled with power. The smaller predators scattered at its feet, unable to face its presence. Orin fell to his knees, his voice shaking. This is impossible. The watcher below has never allowed anyone to live in its presence. We are finished. Mira stepped forward calmly. Do not run. Do not panic. Step by step we walk together. Courage will guide us. Fear has no power here. The watcher below roared, shaking the trees and sending small stones tumbling down the mossy slopes. Its gaze fixed on the humans and Tarniks, searching for weakness, panic, or fear. Step by step, Mira led the group forward, her posture steady, her movements deliberate. The humans followed her example, and gradually the Tarniks joined them. Lyra, a young Tarnix, trembled but forced herself to take a step. Another followed. Soon the entire group was moving together, step by step through the heart of the hunting grounds. The watcher below lunged, testing their resolve. Its claws tore through the mossy ground, and its roar echoed across the forest. The humans and Tarniks did not flinch. They did not panic. Their calmness, their courage, created a strange force that the watcher could not comprehend. It hesitated mid-lunge, its massive head tilting as if trying to understand this new prey. Tom whispered to Rin, "It is confused. I think it expected panic, but we did not give it any. Step by step we are changing its instincts." Rin nodded. "Yes, courage can defy instinct. We are proving that right now." The watcher below circled them slowly, massive claws pressing into the earth, its gaze locked on the humans and Tarniks alike. The forest trembled with its presence, yet no predator dared strike. The watcher's eyes seemed to study, almost like a teacher observing students. It tested them again and again, each time faltering at their calmness. Mira called out softly to the Tarniks, "Keep moving, step by step. Do not look away. Do not panic. We are alive because we do not fear. Show the forest that courage is stronger than instinct." Step by step the group advanced. Each motion was deliberate, every breath controlled. The Watcher paused, lowered its massive head, and emitted a low rumble, testing their resolve. Lyra stumbled slightly, and the Watcher's eyes focused on her. The group froze for a heartbeat, but Mira's calm presence radiated through them. Lyra took another step, steadying herself. The Watcher hesitated, then slowly stepped back. The Tarniks whispered among themselves, amazed and terrified. It has never happened before. The Watcher below has never allowed prey to walk without fear. Humans, they are different. The forest seemed to respond to their courage. Smaller predators began to follow at a distance, observing rather than attacking. The trees swayed gently, and the moss beneath their feet seemed to pulse with life, as if the planet itself recognized the change. Hours passed as they moved carefully through the hunting grounds. The Watcher below followed, never attacking, testing their courage with low growls, sudden movements, and massive gestures. Every time the humans and Tarniks remained calm. Step by step they continued. By afternoon, the group reached the edge of a cliff overlooking a vast valley. The sunlight glinted off the mossy ground and reflected in the Watcher's glowing eyes. Mira looked at the Tarniks. You have walked without fear. You have faced the forest and survived. Now the final lesson. Courage can change everything. Step by step, we show the planet that fear does not control life. Orin stepped forward, his eyes shining with awe. We will follow you. Step by step, together, the humans and Tarniks descended into the valley. Every step was deliberate, every movement calm. The predators watched from the shadows, confused by this new presence. The Watcher below followed at a distance, its massive form moving silently, as if learning from their courage. As night approached, the group reached a clearing in the center of the valley. The stars above Tarnus shone brightly, and the forest seemed to exhale. The Watcher below emerged fully, its massive body towering over the group. It roared, shaking the valley, testing their resolve one last time. Mira stepped forward. We do not fear you. Step by step we walk. Courage is stronger than instinct. Fear has no power here. The Watcher paused. Its glowing eyes scanned the humans and Tarniks, searching for weakness. It lunged, testing them once more. The group remained calm, step by step, walking together as one. The Watcher halted mid-lunge, then slowly lowered its massive head. The forest fell silent. The predators had learned something new. The Watcher below, the ruler of the hunting grounds, had recognized the courage of the humans. It had seen prey that did not panic and prey that did not flee. For the first time, Tarnus had encountered beings who could challenge its ancient instincts. Orin stepped forward, trembling but proud. The humans have shown us a new way. We do not have to live in fear. Step by step, we can survive without panic. We can live with courage, Mira smiled. Fear is not a law of life. Courage is. Step by step we walk, and the forest will learn to respect that. The Watcher and all the predators have learned something today. They will hesitate. They will think before striking. They will respect courage. The Watcher below retreated into the shadows, its massive form disappearing into the forest. Smaller predators returned to their normal patterns, but they were cautious now. The balance of Tarnus had shifted. Step by step, the humans had rewritten the rules of survival on this death world. The Tarniks elders whispered among themselves, filled with awe. We have witnessed a miracle. Courage has triumphed over instinct. The humans have walked without fear, and the forest has respected them. Perhaps our world can change. Mira looked at the Tarniks people. You have learned the greatest lesson. Do not let fear control you. Step by step you move with courage. That is stronger than any predator, any danger, any rule of this planet. The Tarniks nodded, their faces filled with determination. For the first time, they felt what humans had always known. Courage could overcome instinct. Fear could be tamed, and life could be lived without trembling at every shadow. As night fell over Tarnus, the humans and Tarniks set up camp in the valley. The forest was alive, but no predator dared approach. The Watcher below had retreated, not out of fear, but out of respect for courage. The planet itself seemed to acknowledge the change. Tom whispered to Rin, "We did it. We survived the Watcher. We survived Tarnus," Rin smiled. Not just survived. We changed it. Step by step we walked, and the forest learned to respect courage. That is something no one else has done. Orin knelt beside Mira, his eyes filled with gratitude. Your kind has brought a new way of life to Tarnus. The rule of fear has ended. The predators will now respect courage. Our people will walk without panic. Our world will change forever. Mira placed her hand on his shoulder. Step by step, we face life. Step by step, we survive. Step by step, we teach the world that courage is stronger than fear. The stars shone above the valley and the forest pulsed with life. Tarnus had been a world ruled by fear, but humans had walked through it without panic. Step by step, they had challenged the rules of the planet, faced the Watcher below, and survived. Step by step, they had changed the destiny of a Deathworld forever. The next morning, the forest seemed quieter, calmer, and alive in a new way. The predators observed from a distance, respecting the courage that had been shown to them. The Tarniks stepped forward with confidence, no longer trembling at every shadow. Humans and Tarniks walked together, teaching the land that fear was no longer the master. Mira looked out over the valley one last time. Step by step we walk. Step by step the world learns. Step by step we survive.